You're watching BCTV. We're all about Branford. You're watching BCTV, Branford Government Television, a service of Branford Community Television. This program is brought to you in part through the support of the town of Branford.
Good evening. September 26, 2019, 7 o'clock. Board of Fire Commissioners. First off, we have a call to order, and second is we have approval of the following meeting of June 20. I'm going to go backwards.
No, just 27.
Just June. Okay.
Just June 27th. Yeah.
Meeting of June 27, 2019. That was a special meeting.
Made a motion.
Second.
I'll second it.
Okay. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Committee reports. Commissioner Riccio.
I have no report for finance at this time.
Okay. Under personnel, you'll see that in the chief's report that he does have in there that we did currently have one vacancy.
Yes.
We did have a resignation from our assistant drill master of EMS, who was Amanda Mark, and we had the chief and the assistant, I should say, Heffernan and DC Blomquist. They recommend John Kujima Jr. as the new assistant drill master for EMS. So we're looking to take a vote on that so they can appoint him.
Do you need to add that to the agenda?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll make a motion to add that to the agenda.
So moved.
All in favor?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Started without me.
Just.
Trista, what do we want to do in a new business?
That's up to you. I mean, that you can do it now. Or you
Oh,
can
okay, we'll do it right now. Okay, so going back to that.
Okay.
So this is to promote firefighter John Kujima Jr. Into the assistant drill master of EMS.
And he's been there, you know, he's gives a little fill in. He's
Yeah,
been
so,
doing the job, and he's
When
yeah.
when Amanda decided that she didn't want to continue in that position, we put it out again with the qualifications. John applied. He was one of the two earlier contenders for the position. He has all the credentials we're looking for, and he's already been working with Chief Heffernan and Chief Bloomquist on our continuing medical education and a bunch of other things. So I think he'll do a great job.
So it'll be an easy transition then.
Should be.
Okay, and I will. You put that in form of a motion.
Yeah.
I'll second it.
Okay, discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Agenda. Then the next thing is we can congratulate Chief Mahoney is now the new Emergency Management Director appointed by the Board of Selectmen. That was previously by retired Captain Dunbar of the PD. So it's moved over to the FD, and I think the Chief worked with the Police Chief on that too. So hopefully this room will turn out to be our ops center, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Okay, can I ask a question? How did this come about now?
Emergency management for the last several years, well, for quite a long time, was under the auspices of the police department. It was a part of an officer's job. I think that in the last several years, it's changed a lot. It's the functions of emergency management are, I think, more in line with what we do every day, the instant command system and managing those types of large-scale incidents. And I had been for quite a while the assistant or the deputy, and had undergone, over a period of time all the certifications and training that I needed. And when Ray retired, it was kind of a logical thing.
Okay.
At that point, I wanted to tap in again to Timmy Murray's special talents, and I first approached him and asked him, and recommended him to the Board of Selectmen, and he was appointed as a Deputy Emergency Management Director. So,
Yeah, that was the last part of to say that Deputy Chief Murray is going to be the deputy.
Yes.
Yep. So, and that is it for personnel. Training, Commissioner Clem.
Oh, personnel training. Training. Okay, here we go. All right, training is always ongoing with the fire department. I don't know where we would be without training. Career staff trains on shift when they can, if they're not out on the call. And the volunteers have generally, they meet once a week, and at their weekly meetings, depending on what is on their agenda, they will do their training. We hired 8 new firefighters. When was this, a couple months back? I'm trying to lose track of time.
We finished hiring in February.
Was it February? Okay,
Yes.
God, it is September. Anyway, and some were firefighters, but not paramedics. Some were paramedics, but not firefighters. So needless to say, we have been sending them to school. And one of our firefighters has just finished her paramedic training, and she's got her medical control now. One of the others has completed it, but she's still doing, she needs to do her testing. We have 5 people. It doesn't say whether they're career or volunteers in fire service instructor course. The Marine 3 and 4, okay, somebody needs to fill me in on this.
These are the small boats.
Those are the boats on the
Oh, this
apparatus.
is the little ones,
Yeah, the
okay.
double decker.
Okay, because I couldn't figure out. Anyway, some of the career staff is being trained as deckhands and operators. Let's see, we have another one of our firefighters is completed training and is on engine 1. And we have 3 of the firefighters that are going to be going to paramedic school. Oh, fun. And what is exciting for the department is tomorrow, supposedly, the burn trailer will be here for a week, no, for a month.
Got a bug in here.
For a month,
I know,
okay.
so-
We've had it before. I've been in it. It is amazing. Because in Branford, we don't get many interior fires anymore, thank goodness. And so this is the way for us, all of us to train. So starting this coming Monday night, if the trailer gets here on time, the career staff and the volunteers will be training together. So I told Deputy Chief Bloomquist that I'd come up. I'd been in the trailer, some years back, and it is an amazing apparatus.
Yep.
I could just add that we're going to try something different with it this year to make it a little bit more realistic for our members, a little bit more challenging. We've been kind of ramping up. We're going to station the trailer in the parking lot over by the pavilion, and so we will have it cordoned off in cones over there, and then the nights we're actually burning in it, we'll have to shut down the back road pass through. But the idea is to incorporate the pavilion with the trailer, so we're going to actually build a little bit of a ramp from there. And as you guys know, what the pavilion's all about, it'll be a lot more challenging. We get a lot more people involved simultaneously, which is much more realistic. Something that would happen in any resident, from a residential fire all the way to larger buildings, is a lot of things have to happen at once with multiple companies. So that gives us the opportunity to do that. So a little bit of inconvenience where we're going to station it, but it's well worth it.
Good idea. Okay. Apparatus, Commissioner LaCroix.
Yes. The replacement for car 15, which is going to be a 2024 F-350 Super Duty 4x4, went out to public bid. Tasca Automotive Group of Berlin was awarded the contract as the lowest successful bidder. Rescue 2 is presently under construction. The new TAC 6 vehicle is expected to go out to bid shortly. All the DOT inspections have been completed on all but 3 of the apparatus. Corrosion from road salt resulted in several costly repairs. Ladder testing has been completed, and the annual pump testing and preventive maintenance is ongoing. I'd also just like to add in, as a side note, there was a very, very nice recognition of firefighter Giroli on the Branford Fire Department's Facebook page, sort of highlighting the great work that he does, keeping us ready all the time while simultaneously saving us a tremendous amount of money as well. So a shout out to firefighter Giroli for the great work he's been doing.
Absolutely.
I
Saves
just
us
have,
a lot of money in-house too, our
Yeah,
budget
yeah.
tax.
What?
I have a question on
Second page.
on the, you went to North Carolina to look for the ambulance. Is there anyone were you looking for a specific ambulance, or is there any ambulances in our
So
area?
That's the one that
we have a long relationship with really one of our quality vendors who supplied our previous ambulances. They have a new product line that they wanted us to see. They didn't just want us to take their word for it as far as the quality. So they brought us down. We were able to go through the entire factory, talk to the janitor, the CEO, and everybody in between. We weren't followed around. They didn't tell us what questions we could ask. We saw it, from design through the electrical components all the way up to the paint booth and then spit and shine. So it was a worthy trip. Built our confidence in the product, and should that be our decision in the future, we'll be confident that we bought a good product.
Good. Okay, EMS, Commissioner Fox.
Well, our ambulance revenue year-to-date is already $464,540.
That's since July 1.
That's since July
Yeah.
1, yeah, that, we need to
Scary.
stress that's since July 1.
July 1, you get July,
I was
August.
listening the other day and I didn't
September.
know how you were gonna do it.
Yeah.
It was like- We've had 2 confirmed cardiac arrest saves between July 1 and today. There were 1,189 EMS incidents from July 1, 2019 to September 25th, 2019, resulting in 923 transports to area hospitals, 78% transport to 22% non-transport. So we're taking most of them to the hospital. Dr. Sandy Bogucki, our department surgeon, will retire from Yale New Haven Hospital in early January 2020. And Dr. Bogucki has been a great asset to our department. Her contributions to the success and professional development of our paramedics are immeasurable. She has been a steadfast advocate of firefighter health and safety, contributing nationally to improvements in this area. And earlier this year, she received the Dr. Mark Quigley Award by the Connecticut State EMS Council for her outstanding work supporting emergency medical services statewide. She's also a neighbor of mine.
Yes, she is.
Shout out for
That's a
that.
great person.
Tremendous.
Yes, she is. She's been with us for quite some time.
Yeah, how many years?
Back-
I mean,
she was on the board at the ambulance.
Yes.
So she was
Wow.
91, 92.
Yeah, because she was been here almost as long as I have. Yeah.
Wow.
She ushered the paramedic
Will she
program.
continue to stay
Yeah.
on and do anything?
Oh,
or she's
okay.
be-
Well, she's also an emergency room.
We don't know if she's we're gonna try and convince her.
Yeah.
We haven't broached that yet. I figure
Okay.
we'll let her have like 2 weeks of vacation.
Yeah.
Try to convince her.
Of retirement, and then
Hit her up.
hit her up again. So we do have our continuing ed coming up
Yeah.
in December, so we're going to utilize her to full extent
All right,
before
now, is
she retires.
is she retiring from practice or
Yes.
retiring from?
She is retiring.
She's too young. I mean,
She you got to remember, as an emergency physician, she works nights, weekends,
yes, she
all
does.
those
Yes,
rotations.
yes.
She travels all over the country on a very regular basis.
Yeah.
She's on all these committees. She's one of the authors of NFPA 1582, which talks about all the health and safety about firefighters and the physical requirements and stuff. So she is on committees everywhere, all over the place. So yeah,
She's busy.
yeah.
she needs to rest.
Yeah, she's starting to pop up more too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you get a sense that she's kind of ready.
Yeah, she is.
Okay,
She is.
interesting,
Yeah.
interesting.
And she told the region about a year ago. So this is not.
Okay.
She
Not
she had
surprised.
said that at least last January, because we've already met, and I can't think off the top of my head his name. We've already met her replacement as far as who the medical director for the region will be. And he's a really nice guy, and so she's been having him around.
Okay,
Good.
interesting.
Okay, buildings, everyone drives by, Station 9 is coming right along, and we are on schedule, just to say, knock on wood.
Thanks to you two guys.
No, the chief down there, I mean, yeah, we do a whole boot camp down there, but
Yeah.
we have a very, very active building committee that is on top of everything
Good.
and watching everything, so.
Good.
So really, there's nothing big on it, right? I mean,
No,
What's the projected completion?
November 5th is
That's
around that
cool.
time.
November.
and
Oh.
we are on schedule. The second floor is completely sheetrocked.
Wow.
The
Oh, wow.
first coat of paint is on the walls. The
But we were
drop-
gonna leave that open, I thought, we're just.
Yeah, we are. It'll be
Yeah,
all
but
finished.
it's a big open
No,
room.
it's finished.
Okay, but that's
So,
in it,
yep.
okay.
So
It'll be all
there's
carpeting, tiled,
there's
everything.
the ceiling grid will go in tomorrow, and so that should be ready.
Oh,
And they'll
nice.
come in and finish sprinklers up on Monday and Tuesday next week.
Wow.
Insulate the first floor and get that ceiling in.
Yeah.
And so we're
Awesome.
moving along. And then once they get that stuff done, there's a lot of inside stuff that's smaller, and then they'll get to the outside siding. They've gotten all the insulation up on the outside.
Yeah,
And
what's
then they have the
comes
hardy
next
board.
is the hardy plank, yeah.
Yep.
comes
They
next.
put a course
it's not gonna
between the
be pink.
doors. It's a nice, nice color gray. I
subtle
think
gray.
it pops really nice.
Yeah.
Nice color, Jim.
Garage doors are ready. They're ready to be put in as
Yeah.
soon as they're ready. We're waiting on one outside door. And that's it.
Well, I drove that way one day just to check it out. And I mentioned this to the chief the other day. I said, there doesn't seem to be much, I mean, trying to figure out, of course, the construction equipment was there, but where's the parking?
Oh, it's there.
There's plenty.
It's what you
There's plenty for the members that need to respond.
Right.
Yeah.
There's a parking lot that enters off of Cocheco.
Okay.
And then there are parking spots for firefighters in the front.
Okay,
Yeah, there's plenty.
yeah.
Nope.
I mean, the lot's not that big anyway, so.
No, we're right. We're doing the punch list as we build.
Oh, yeah.
We're walking around and so that, yeah,
Okay.
that's so good. Pensions and communications?
Pension, okay. Jim Finch, our finance director, and I've talked about this a couple of times. When we do the run reports in the spring, there's always a few, 2 or 3, maybe volunteers, who do not make the requirements to receive the stipend, okay? So we will give the information to the chief. He will make a decision as to whether he thinks they should receive it. And so we'll leave it up to him. But I think this year we decided not to because the requirements are not that difficult. You are required to make 40 calls a year for your company. Many of the companies do 200, 300 calls. So Jim and I put our heads together and we invited the chief and Deputy Chief Tim Murray just to come up to town hall and let's just brainstorm a little bit. And I was concerned as to maybe there wasn't enough communication as to how do we relate to the volunteers that you're short getting close to the end of the year. Because the pension committee does not communicate with them or anything. According to Deputy Chief Murray is all they have to do is go on the computer and look at all this stuff and they see what needs to
See
be
what they
done.
need.
So I said, okay, so obviously it's not important to them to do this, so okay, so that's how we left it. So the year end, we'll see how things work out this year, because we'll do, they have until the last of December to complete all the requirements. So we'll see how everything turns out next year when we get together to do the run reports. Yeah. So that was it.
Okay, good. Chief's report?
Okay, so we've, since July 1st, we've done 1,537 calls. Some significant calls. We had a resident, this goes back, this report covers the first quarter of the year, July 1st to September. On Orchard Hill Road, on July 5th, we had a significant residential fire where the occupant attempted to extinguish the fire and then tried to find his pets, but became, would have been overcome himself, had to get himself out. When we got there, we had to extinguish the fire and treat a patient for smoke inhalation. While that was going on, we also did our search, which is routine. We rescued 2 pets that were unconscious. And not, they were unconscious and completely not breathing. They were revived and with CPR and oxygen masks, and we got them to the veterinary hospital, Mill Plain Vet, which was tremendously helpful to us, which then transferred them to a more appropriate facility, and I'm happy to say that they're doing well. Unfortunately, on the 24th of July on 19 Leeds Island Road, we had one resident succumb in a fire, 60-year-old resident, and it was a fairly significant fire that caused damage to the surrounding units. So despite our best efforts, that was a losing battle when we got there. Those were the worthy fires. We've had many other minor incidents as well as the multitude of EMS calls, but I only try to mention anything that was significant in this report. A new 3-year contract was ratified by both the union and the RTM, and it's expected that that will be signed by everybody by tomorrow.
Good.
And we have...
It's actually good.
I've just written a letter to you guys. It's in a couple of pages back in your report that just pretty much just highlights the contract. And again, this was already approved by the RTM.
Yep,
So.
it was all good, that's good stuff.
Yep, good stuff. All set.
And other than that, I only have our annual report, which I sent to everybody earlier. The report covers, the beginning of the report always includes kind of an informational thing for the public so that they understand the complexity of the fire department. We talked about our fleet, we talked about the training, and then we get into some more statistical stuff where we talk about the incidents. Total incidents last year were 5,969, and again, about 74% of the incidents that we run are EMS related. You can see where our, in draft form, some really, information about how many calls we do by hour, how many calls we do by day, what our average response time is, the types of calls not EMS related, and then we have an entire breakdown of exactly the types of EMS calls. So we separate those out for people to see. So there's a lot of information, and then of course we talk about the ambulance revenue. Last year's revenue was 1.9, almost $2 million. We were about just under $40,000 short from hitting the $2 million mark. I mentioned under personnel, we had 2 retirements. I give a brief history of those 2 members, Deputy Chief John Massey and firefighter paramedic John Kojima. We lost several longtime volunteers last year, and they included Edwin Kelsey, Deputy Chief, or Assistant Chief, retired. We lost Assistant Chief DeRoss last year, past Chairman Bill Thompson. And, so I try to, recognize people throughout that. So with your permission, I'd like to get the board's approval, get the annual report signed, and we'll get it to the town clerk for publishing.
So I have a motion to approve.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Beautiful. It was a good job.
Very nice job.
Very good job. It was really well
Very
done.
Town clerk will be thrilled
You
to
guys all did a
death.
good job on this one.
Well, I know you'll be thrilled because you really like to read the
love
entire
reading
town
this. I
report.
love it. I love it. Anyway, this one ended the whole towns. All right, I have a question. This got not his report. We received a memo about a Company 9 changing their name.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring that up.
Oh, you're
Yeah,
gonna bring
new
it up?
business.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, I was
I'm
gonna do that, yeah. Yep. Anything else on the chief's report, chief?
That's it. And,
Assistant chief?
We've been busy in the fire marshal end of things. In addition to those fires, we've been working on a lot of construction projects in town. The community house is just about wrapped up. Was out there again today, hoping that, just waiting on a little bit of paperwork that I expect tomorrow morning, and then we'll be able to issue a temporary certificate of occupancy. And we met with various town departments there today to talk about how to transition to move into there. The library, the same thing. That's a phased project. So they have completed one phase, which includes the new entrance. So we've issued a temporary certificate of occupancy for the new entrance part. And then they start what was previously the offices. That area gets reworked. Our holdup with the library project is we have a bunch of modification requests sent to the state fire marshal's office. And because it's such an old building, it doesn't fit into the fire code and the building code. And those modification requests have been up there for a long time. And so we are trying to push them. I hand delivered them and handed them to them to get them processed. We've sent them second copies, so we are trying to pull some strings and get things moved along up there as recently as 2 days ago. The Walsh project is looking phenomenal, moving along great, right on schedule. So that's, the anticipation is that we would give them a certificate of occupancy in December for the new structure, and that they would move into that during Christmas break. And then start the transition
It's
for
on time.
the renovation and demo of the other portion. So that's been working out real well.
Oh, my God.
We are currently
And
working.
Station 9.
Huh?
And Station 9.
And Station 9. Yep, Station 9 is, like we said before, is right on schedule. Contingency's getting a little tight, but we'll make it. The other thing we're working on is Parkside Village proposal. So there was
That's still out there, huh?
there was another proposal that came in last week. I've issued my report to Planning and Zoning on that, and I anticipate that that will continue on until they make another decision there. But so we've been spending a lot of time doing a lot of research on that.
Gosh.
And the last thing that we really haven't touched on yet is we are in the process of starting with our new occupational medicine provider. So we have signed on with Middlesex Occupational Medicine.
Oh, Middlesex.
They are, we were really impressed. We interviewed different occupational medicine providers. Our previous one had gone out of business, so we needed to find a new one. And when Middlesex came in, we were extremely impressed. Their doctor is very well versed in that NFPA 1582 that I mentioned earlier, which is the physical requirements for a firefighter. Very well versed in OSHA requirements. We've been out to visit twice, DC Bloomquist and myself, most recently last week. They are in the old Essex Clinic in Essex.
65 and
Yep.
153 or 154, yeah.
So they were there. That building's
Where
been
the Shoreline Clinic was?
used to be.
Yeah.
Used to be?
Yep, they've completely renovated the facility. It's absolutely beautiful. You know, our options were there or New Haven on Sherman Avenue. And when we looked at the distance, by the time you found parking and everything in New Haven and got into the facility, it was going to take you a little bit longer than it was to just go to Essex and park at the front door. So we were very excited when we were out there last week. We had a couple questions. The medical director was at the Middletown facility. They got him on the phone. He spent 20 minutes on the phone with us, completely unannounced, answering all our questions. So we're really excited. Our shifts are getting ready to make that transition. They're filling out as a new patient to a new facility. You can imagine the paperwork. So they're all filling out that paperwork and faxing it over this week, and should be in the next couple of weeks heading for their physicals.
Wow.
And that's all I've got.
Very busy. Old business, I don't have anything. I'm not forgetting that, am I? No, okay. New business, okay. We have a request from Local 2533, it's not a request, it's just that they're just advising and telling us that they're gonna be doing another mailer.
Yeah.
So if anybody gets a phone call about the mailer, it is coming right from the union, so they do that. And they still send that out, because they do.
Yep.
Okay, that's just for the
They
record.
did make some of the requested changes. The commission wanted to have a little bit more information in the mail about what
Yep.
it was all about, so they kind of changed things up. They
Yep.
wanted you guys to know that.
Well, good. In case we get any questions from the public,
Yeah.
we can answer
Right,
them.
right.
That's,
Yeah.
that's the cool thing.
It's better than the phone one, that was always
Yeah,
the biggest
and
problem.
they support a lot of different
Oh my God,
community
yeah.
organizations and things like that, as well as, making sure that a lot of their safety and stuff.
Yeah, exactly, yep. Okay, and the last letter I have was from the fire company, Pine Orchard, Indian Neck Nines. Dear Commissioner Massey, a citizen approached me last week. They asked me if we were going to dedicate the new firehouse to anyone. They suggested dedicating it to my dad, Chief Peter Mullen. They went on talking about everything he has done for the department as well as the townspeople. Brought it up to the company last night at our meeting. The vote was unanimous, and that is from Captain Mullen of the Indian Neck Pine Orchard Fire Company. So I asked them, their officers, and I think the chief may have talked to them, and Sean, you may have the assistant chief too. What's their intent? You're not changing the name, no. They want to dedicate the building to him.
So you just want a plaque? Is that what they want? Or?
We kind of have to, like, we almost have to get like a little subcommittee from here to go find out exactly, so we
Yeah.
can do that, because we do have the trailer, I know, right? You have, right, the Chief Peter Mullen safety trailer, right?
Yeah.
So, you know,
Yeah, I'm not, my understanding is just this, that essentially what Captain Mullen talked to me about is exactly what was, written in his letter here. That's how he explained it. He didn't explain, what dedicating the building meant.
yeah,
So,
I really
Find
didn't,
out
I
more
there's
about
no
that.
disputing that Chief Peter Mullen did a heck of a
Yeah,
lot of work for the town.
Well, absolutely,
and was
but
very
we
well
don't. I
respected.
don't understand what they're asking. Like,
yeah, I'm confused. Well, I tried to ask that too, when I kind of, but I don't know.
Yeah.
So, but it probably
maybe if we
should
can clarify-
leave here, we can
clarify
table it and
I'll
we'll come
ask
back.
for some clarification.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we can come back
Let's
next
just
meeting.
table
and,
it, and it'll be old business at our next meeting, so we could do that. Okay,
Okay.
so we'll defer that and do that.
Yeah.
And, Chief, you and I can meet with them and maybe get
Yeah,
their
absolutely.
officers and find out.
Yeah.
Where do they meet right now? Where are they meeting? I know the truck's down there at,
I think they've been meeting
In the
here, and
rescue
they were
room.
meeting in the rescue.
oh, the rescue, okay, gotcha, okay.
Okay.
All right. That was it for any correspondence I had for new business.
No, I don't see anything.
I don't think there's anything else, so look for a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Oh, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
7:31.
This program was brought to you in part through the support of the Town of Branford. Watch town meetings and other videos on demand at BranfordTV.org.